and welcome back to the Political Report. I'm Naomi, the developer of the Political Report.
And I'm Brianna, the content creator of the Political Report.
For those of you who are new here, we are a team of media enthusiasts. So we look at the different forms of media and how they affect society, and then we talk about how they relates back to politics.
On today's vlog, we'll be talking about advertisements. More specifically, how they affect society and how they affect the political world, whether that be campaigns or just politics in general.
It's a super important topic to cover, so we can't wait to dive in. The boys are out this week, so it's just going to be me and Brianna talking about it. So ads are something that we see every day. We see them all the time, everywhere, all around us. In fact, there was a statistic done that showed that there's going to be about $600 billion spent globally on ads, and that was back in 2020. So imagine what it is now in 2022. Over the last few weeks on the Political Report, we've explored many different media channels. And one of the things that all of those media channels have in common is the fact that they are all flooding with ads. Ads really run the majority of the media channels. If we look at magazines, for one thing, as early as the 19th century, magazines were primarily financially supported by ads. If you look at radio, as early as the Roaring 20s, people appreciated that ads could be on the radio because that provided what they called free radio. Radio could be available to everyone because the broadcasts were primarily funded by advertisements. One of the biggest ways that we see businesses sell their products is through them making the pitch of, you need this product, and they show us all the ways that we need it. That began happening as early in the Great Depression, because when the stock market crashed, people didn't have all this money to spend money on random products. And so businesses started taking the pitch of, well, you need this in order to go about your day. And obviously that pitch is something that we still see today all the time. And in continuing on, in World War II, advertisements were so big because the government was using them to sell war bonds to create more awareness of the movement. And then later on, television started using advertisements like crazy. When everybody moved back from World War II, everyone got a television set, and advertisers started using TV commercials to sell their products for home goods and different things that people wanted in their lives to make their lives a lot easier. So obviously advertisements have taken over all media forms that we know of. They're just absolutely everywhere. In fact, there's a statistic shown that in the United States, the typical individual will spend over a year of their life watching television commercials, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. With advertisements being as big as they are, there can be good sides to them and there can also be bad sides to them. Some of the good sides with with advertisements, is that it creates more awareness with products. I think we can all think of a product that we didn't realize that we needed until there was an advertisement for it, and it actually has made our lives a lot better. In addition, it also boosts our economic system because there's so much money spent on it. But there's also some bad sides to it as well. For one thing, a lot of people find advertisements to be intrusive. They can feel like a lot of their media channels are just getting flooded with advertisements. And some advertisements can be dangerous because they're spreading around false information with people. But nevertheless, the good and the bad, we can all see that there's an insane amount of money spent on them. And some of the biggest brands in the world just spend bucket loads of money on them.
With today being midterm elections, it seems like there's no better day to talk about the effects of advertisement in politics than today. So while we're on the topic of the midterm elections, I just thought I would share with you all that $6.4 billion worth of advertisements went into today. So you can think about that while you're voting. Cummings went on to explain in this Yale News article that in the 2020 election, both candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, both put in over $1 billion of advertisements on local television and other news sources. This didn't really give them much impact though. It only has linked to impact 0.007% of voters' choices, which is a lot overall in just large numbers, but really did not affect them much considering how much money they put into these advertisements. It is, however, thought that this money being put into advertisements for smaller candidates in more local voting situations could give more effect as name recognition comes from these advertisements, and ultimately name recognition matters a lot more in local circles.
We hope that you've enjoyed this week on the Political Report.
In conclusion, we learned that advertisements do affect politics, but they more so affect consumer purchasing.
Tune in next week, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.